No one is stopping me. Rohan, fix our camera.
Whoa, Spencer's fiery today.
I'm fiery today because I'm just got ripped a new one for like an hour in the Spax Attack chat.
What's new? Was the redirect set from Spax Attack?
Dude, I'm gonna. Don't tell me, AB.
Oh, it's still live. Hold on, we got time.
Dude, I swear, I will walk out of here.
It is not set. So I'll set it right now.
Oh my gosh!
Nice catch.
I will walk out of here. You said it?
I said it.
Are they still alive?
Let's check.
Dude.
Don't leave us, Spencer.
All right, it's ending. Oh my gosh. People, I feel like I'm wrangling cattle sometimes here. Whatever. What's up? Welcome to Benzinga Live. Spencer, AB. Okay. Take a breath. What do we got? What do you want to talk about today, AB? We have another day of like crazy guests.
We've got a jam-packed show today. We say this almost every day. So Tim Quast will be joining us from Market Structure Edge. And then after that, we have the CFO from Luminar Technologies, ticker
LAZR?
LAZR, coming on the show live for an exclusive interview. And then after that, we've got Russ Davis, a Shiba Inu millionaire. So if you're interested in Shiba, that'll be a pretty interesting interview. Excited to talk to Russ again. He's been on the show before. And then I forgot we got Christian Fromhertz on Benzinga as well. So Christian will be coming on at around 1 p.m. So as always, we're going to keep the guests rolling. And Spencer, we got a lot to talk about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start.
Do we have a new intro yet?
The show.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Benzinga Nation, jam-packed show today. Peloton up 5%.
What's up, disciplined investor?
We got Benzinga CEO Jason Raznick here with us.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tom Nash.
Peter Schiff on the Power Hour with us live today.
Interesting, different, unique, innovative companies.
Mia, you are live with us on the Power Hour. What's up?
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Jessica Billingsley, that is the CEO of Akerna.
The best trade idea resource out there.
I'm convinced we're never getting a new intro at this rate. Let's just keep the old intro forever.
Well, whatever you want, Spencer. So before we get to our Guess That chart of the day, let's just go through some headlines. Let me pull up my Benzinga Pro. So you guys may have seen, but Meta, aka formerly known as Facebook, is up more than 4% today, about $13. So let's check in on Facebook, see what news is driving the movement. Spencer,
yes.
Meta hitting $400 in the next 3 months. Take it or leave it.
Wait, what is it at right now?
It is at.
Show me a chart.
I'll pull up the chart right here for you.
Wait a minute. I thought the name change wasn't happening yet.
No, it already happened.
It did?
Meta Platforms, baby.
Well, but the ticker is still Facebook.
The ticker is, I think, next week changing to MBRS, I believe.
Can you go to a newsfeed real fast? When did they announce it?
When did they announce the name change?
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago, right?
That was a while ago. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it on here.
Yeah, I bet you will. If you just scroll back a few weeks, I bet you it's like, I think it's like middle of October, right?
End of October, yeah. Metaverse, here we come.
No, keep going.
Well, wait, here might be right here.
No, that's not it. But Mass Matterport, dude. What do you?
Why the Facebook name for?
Keep going. It was like middle of the month.
Here we go. Facebook rebrands as Meta. What investors need to know: Facebook will change its ticker on December 1st.
Okay, so wait, what day is this though? This is keeps going. This was
on the 28th.
So October 28th. Now, can we go back to the chart here, please? This is my point. October 28th was when they announced the name change. Just go to a daily or something.
Yep.
Okay. Can we find that on the chart?
Here's October 28th right here.
Oh, the bottom?
This green candle.
The bottom. You're saying the bottom.
The day before, yeah. The day before was the bottom, and then they changed the name.
Interesting. If only there had been someone to theorize, is this a buying opportunity because stocks tend to run up into stupid events for no reason. For example, the Apple and the Tesla stock splits from last year. I definitely 100% said that on pre-market prep or at the close or I don't know, any other show. And hey, I was right.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people have been kind of, I'm not going to say duped by this, but they definitely, some investors are seeing Facebook a little differently now that it's Meta. So
wait, what was that low price right there on the 28th? It was what? It was
on the 28th,
Yeah.
it was 308.11.
and we're up 341 now.
341 now. Yep. So it's more than 10%.
$33 in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Okay. Don't say I didn't say anything because I 100% said that this could happen. Of course, I didn't do anything about it because I forgot. Because that's what I do. I say things and then I forget I say them. But
Spencer, the chat doesn't look too happy with you today.
dude, chat.
Why, Spence? Why?
I didn't kill SPACs. I moved it. That's what I did. I didn't kill it. I think Jason is actually legitimately upset. Thankfully, he's not here right now. Because if he was here, it would be a whole different kind of day. But he's at home, I think. I don't even know where he is. And I like it that way. So
Jason is in California, Palm Springs.
oh, wait a minute. He's in Palm Springs and he's inside, or I guess he doesn't have to be inside, but and he's watching us from Palm Springs. How do you know that? Rohan?
I just did.
Look, guys, we are always
I know everything.
wait. How does Martin know that? And I don't know that. Martin, who are you? Are you Jason? We're always making changes. We're always doing something because you always did it is not a good reason to keep doing it, right? So we're always trying to improve. That means trying new things and sometimes stopping things, doing things the way they are. And that's okay. That's a sign of growth. We're in growth mode here at Benzinga, right?
Yep. Other news items today, we're looking at Tesla down 3.7% right now. So well off of its highs of last week when it got to, let's see, about $1,239, I believe was the all-time high that we have in Tesla's chart. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is still trading off. It seems like after Elon Musk announced he was selling, we discussed on this show why exactly Elon Musk is selling, why he put that.
Can you zoom in more on the last couple of days? Maybe go to like an intraday chart. I want to look at yesterday specifically.
All right, let's go to
as you finish that thought.
4-hour chart.
Yeah, that's good. Because if you're watching pre-market prep yesterday, you heard us or you saw us go. The question: Why the heck is Tesla trading higher after yesterday morning? After it comes out that Elon sold a bunch of shares, it didn't really make any sense at all. And lo and behold, here you are a day later, and we're right back where we were before. So,
yeah, we discussed it on the show that Elon, in his kind of sly genius way, framed it as he was selling Tesla stock so that he could pay his fair share of taxes. Like out of the goodness of his heart, he wanted to, do what everyone else has to do and pay taxes. But, who knows? There were reports out there from, a number of outlets saying essentially he had a big tax bill, had to sell anyway. So regardless of what the outcome of that Twitter poll would be, there were a lot of people theorizing that Elon was going to sell anyway, or maybe he already had. So I don't know. I think this will be an interesting chart to watch for the next week or so because Tesla's always prone to run, right? We could see another run up to 1,200 next week. I would not be out here buying puts or anything, but the chart does look a little precarious that it could come back down to these $900 levels. So I would just be watching this. I don't know if you guys are out there in the chat. Let me know if you're trading Tesla and how you are trading it. Maybe when Tim comes on, we can ask him for the sentiment on Tesla. Yeah, Tiny Pie in the chat. Billionaires always act responsibly. They, you got to give it to Elon, right?
if I was a billionaire, I would definitely spend way more time on Twitter than I currently do. And I spend a lot of time on Twitter. Elon perhaps spends too much time on Twitter for a guy running 3 companies, but hey, who am I to judge? Guys like him move at a faster pace than the rest of us.
Today, someone was asking for the support line. It looks like right here, kind of where we're at right now will be a big line in the sand. Because if we drop below here, we could drop even further. down to maybe this $968 level right here where we have previous support. But I think if we do see it drop a few more points, that we could see it bounce from here. So I would just keep your eye on this chart for the rest of the day. Like I said, let me know in the chat how you are trading it.
Yeah, do me a solid. Can you pull up a Bitcoin chart real fast?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Bitcoin or any Bitcoin related thing. I don't really care. And I ask because I want to see what Bitcoin's done in the last hour.
Okay.
I don't know. What the hell is going on there? Try refreshing. I don't know. The reason I want to know what's going on in the last hour is because we got some news about an hour and a half ago now that the SEC has rejected VanEck's application for a spot Bitcoin ETF. If you're into these things, you know that we have two Bitcoin ETFs. They are both based on the Bitcoin futures, and there are several applications out there. The leading one was VanEck for an actual ETF based on the spot price of Bitcoin, just like the GLD is based on the spot price of gold, or the USO. Actually, no, not the USO. Never mind. Bad example. But GLD, better example. And that has been rejected. So we are not going to get, for the moment, an ETF that is 100% backed by the price of Bitcoin. That being said, does the market care, AB, or not really?
I mean, we've got Bitcoin trading down about 2.5% today. I'm trying to see it on more of an intraday chart, but yeah, I mean, so we can see here in the last, when did that news come out? Around noon?
It was like an hour and a half ago.
Okay, so let's call it 11 a.m.
Oh, I thought he was going to walk behind us. He didn't do that. All right, thanks, Luke. Sorry, what were you saying?
I mean, Bitcoin's trading down, but who's to say that's why? I mean, I think, there's always news. Bitcoin trades both like anything else. You've got technicals, you have news. It's harder to say with Bitcoin when news affects the price versus stocks, because a lot of times news will come out on a certain stock and you can see that movement right away. I think Bitcoin was already showing some weakness here in the chart before that news came out. So again, it's very hard to say exactly why Bitcoin is trading lower today, but we did see Bitcoin hit new all-time highs earlier in the week when the CPI data came out. And even then that day after it hit new all-time highs, it ended up trading lower on that 24-hour period. So again, in the chat, throw me out a 1 if you're in Bitcoin right now. Throw me a 2 if you're on the sideline. Throw me a 3 if you are selling any crypto that you are holding right now. Spencer, what are you doing in crypto right now?
Wishing I
bought the dip.
But in all seriousness, like with regards to crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum, what the hell? I'm seriously considering, I do like dollar cost averaging, right, for like the long term stuff, right, the retirement accounts and all that. I'm actually seriously considering putting all that on pause for the foreseeable future and just dollar cost averaging into crypto instead, right? I like my allocation is like 98% stocks. So it's the end of the year. It's the time to think about these kind of things, and I'm seriously considering just not contributing to certain retirement accounts next year and just putting all that money in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ether, Bitcoin and Ether. Happy.
Got it.
I'd be very curious to get the chat's thoughts on that. Would you stop contributing to? Look, I only have I only have so much money coming in, right? You have to allocate that. We all have to allocate what we have. Would you stop? Would you stop contributing to stocks and retirement accounts and do crypto instead, or would you do something different? But that's my plan for next year. I honest to God, I'm gonna not contribute to my retirement accounts and do the crypto. Just add more Bitcoin and Ether.
Beautiful.
That's my honest to God plan.
All right, there you have it, Spencer himself.
Yeah, I mean, I bought Bitcoin one time. I bought Ethereum one time. I've got like $5,000 of like exposure here. You know what I mean? Like that's nothing. So, oh, and I also have Solana. I don't know how much I have in that. I don't even remember.
So the last news item I wanted to get to before
Yeah.
we get to our chart, our guess the chart of the day. So I've been watching the China trade for the past couple days.
Yeah.
BABA trading down about 1% today. But what's interesting to me about this is if you pull up JD's chart, JD is up 2.5%. So JD is showing a lot of relative strength against BABA and other Chinese names right now. The JD chart looks very strong to me. It looks like we could be due for a nice little breakout. I think right here, we're at a point where if we can break through this $87 level that's acted as resistance, then we could really see JD run for the rest of the day and into next week. So I would definitely add this stock to your watch list right now if you haven't already. And then you can also look at BABA as, hey, maybe this is going to, got to catch up to JD if other Chinese names are showing strength. So I'm not in BABA right now. I do have an open call on JD. So that's been doing well for me, up about 35% right now, but I'm looking to hold it through the rest of this afternoon, at least in case we get that breakout that I'm looking for. So yeah, let me know in the chat if you're looking at JD, BABA, any other Chinese names, or really any names in general.
Can you pull up the K-Web? There's a certain viewer of Pre-Market Prep that asked me about K-Web because I sold it much to my own chagrin a few months ago when shit hit the fan. And it keeps asking if I'm going to buy back in. Stand with a good comment. Stand with the underrated comment of the day with regards to my Bitcoin conundrum here. Why don't I just go to Bitcoin IRA or I Trust Capital or any of these firms and just create a Roth IRA with Bitcoin?
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, you can. Stan knows. I know. We know. We've been on our show. They've been on our conference. We know.
But to your point, Spencer, K-Web's chart looks pretty good right now. I like the fact that if you were a viewer of Get Technical, we like to look for these sustained bottoms where a chart's been beaten down, but it hangs out in a range, showing that it has support down here. And then once you see some strength coming back up on the upside, you can easily set your price target to back up here at $70, currently at 51. So these are daily candles. If we zoom in, we can see we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candles in a row here. So it definitely looks like we're getting a little bit of a reversal here. Again, there will be points on the way up that will act as resistance to watch out for right here at around $54. $54.50. That'd be a resistance level to watch. But, we get through these. I think we can easily run back up to $60 and then even $70. So I'm adding K-Web to my watch list right now, Spencer. Thanks for pointing it out.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I still have no interest from a fundamental point of view. But I guess call me if it gets to 60, all right? And then maybe I'll be interested. I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't want to sell this. I feel like my hand was forced, right? This is like a long-term holding of mine. I think I had this thing for like 3 or 4 years, which, I'm 30 years old. I've been investing for like less than a decade. 3 or 4 years is a long time.
Someone in the chat talking about MU Micron. That chart looks very strong too. We're at $77, $77.50 right now. Looks like the next spot of resistance will be about 81. So keep your eyes on Micron. I think Micron trades with the rest of the crypto stocks, right?
Not really.
More China names.
Micron, I mean, it trades with the chips, trades with NVIDIA, trades with AMD. Right?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. All right. I don't know where Tim is. I shot him an email. I hope he can join us today. Pretty sure he'll find us at some point. But do you want to do our guess that chart?
Let's do it, Spencer.
Okay. Who was it yesterday that suggested we get rid of the price axis? Was that
Christian Gallagher, maybe?
No, it wasn't Christian. I forget. I don't think whoever it was. I don't think they're here right now. But whoever suggested that, we took that into account. So I'm going to bring up a chart right now, and I got rid of the price axis at someone's suggestion. Apparently, the last 2 days were too easy. Yesterday we did PayPal. The day before we did DWAC, and those are way too easy. So this chart, I'm going to bring up on the screen here. We have no price access. I zoomed in so you couldn't see it. I think this is way too hard, personally, without the price access. But here we are.
We'll see if someone gets it.
Well, I feel like you all need some hints. This is like way too difficult. I'm going to give some hints here because Okay. Hint number one. This is a retail play, like a retailer. So, like for example, not snow, right? This is a retail play. That's hint number one. Hint number two, the company reported earnings this cycle, and it was like the best quarter in their history. Oh, that's funny. Okay, see, okay, now we're getting closer. Now we're getting closer. We're not quite there yet. I'm seeing Walmart. I'm seeing Macy's, Melly. Not a bad. I don't actually know what the chart of Melly looks like, Martin, but that's not a bad guess. Costco shop. Okay, Bed Bath. Nope, not quite. This is it's a retailer, but I didn't say it's retailer. It's a retail play. It's a retail play. It's not a retailer. It's a retail play. It's more of a accessory. Not it's not apparel. Is it apparel?
That's apparel.
Is it apparel? I'm not quite sure. How would you classify? Oh, whoa! What do we have here? We have ourselves a winner.
Sand Viper. Got it. Crocs. Ticker CROX.
How do I zoom out? There we go.
Crocs, one of the best performing stocks over the last 5-10 years. Like you said, Spencer reported just blowout earnings. Shout out Sand Viper 145 in the chat. Sanjeev got it right after, but Sand Viper was our first one. Sand Viper, email us at shows@benzinga.com.
Put it up on the screen, yeah, or in the chat or something.
I am.
All right.
And you will get a free piece of swag for being today's chart. Guess the chart winner. Shelly wants one more.
Shelly, you're late. This is the consequence of your actions.
I think we can do one more for Friday.
Yeah, but okay.
You just have to let Spencer and I.
We have to think about it for a second. I have to take it off the screen then because we have to like find some cool charts. You guys want to do one more? I mean, it's Friday. Like, what the hell, right? We do have our next guest coming up, or our first guest, I should say. Tom Fennimore will be on in what, 20 minutes or so? At 12:40, 15 minutes, right? It's at 12:45 and it's 12:30 right now. So we can do one more. Yeah, that's a good idea, Plant the Cyclist. Listen, we're not going to do one more. We're not going to do one more unless we get a certain number of likes. And right now, we are at 32 likes. We will do another guess that chart, if we get to 100 likes. If we get to 100, we'll do another one. If we don't, we won't. And now we wait. Maybe. And we sit here. Nice. Just in case I'm going to find one. Just in case. I'm taking suggestions for our potential second chart of the day. What about this one? That's not bad. Okay, that's not bad. I'm going to go with that one. If we get there.
How many do we need?
We need to get to 100. We're at 57. So we're not really close. At some point, we got to draw the line, too. At some point, we got to say, okay, no more. Let's give it like a minute or two. Brian Blockchain, I completely agree. I'm not sure what Tim is. I'll be honest with you, Brian. I shot him an email. Should I text him right now? Like, Tim, where you at, man?
Martin, shout out Martin. He gave 3 likes. If you're like Martin and you have multiple YouTube or Google accounts, get in there. And
I don't know if I support that. That's voter fraud.
Get into your parents' Gmail, YouTube account. Make one for your grandparents. Make one for your dog.
If you guys aren't boomers like Spencer, then go ahead and
dude, that's voter fraud.
Spencer, everyone does voter fraud.
Oh, I don't.
I voted 3 times in the last election.
Jeez. All right. Christians, how do you even do that? That's funny. Okay, wait. It's keeping an eye. I'm texting Tim right now. We're at 60, so we ain't gonna get there.
I'm gonna pull up another chart real quick.
I have one. I have it ready to go.
No, not one of those.
Oh.
I'm just showing peeps.
You're just showing peeps. All right.
Roblox has been trading kind of crazily the past few days. Up 5%, down 5%, up right now 8.8%. So we're about to, it looks like it's going to run into this previous all-time high of 109.97. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to squeeze out any trade for a few bucks up to 109, but once we hit that level, we're either going to see it break through, and then I think, there'll be some move on the upside. Who knows what the price target? Maybe someone out there that can do the fib retracement can tell me what it would be if we break
fib
through
retracement. Whoa.
or if we hit that 109 level and start coming back down, then I might start looking at some short dated puts or something, just because I like this stock long term. But it's moved a lot. I believe after the earnings, it went up about 30%, traded off those highs, is now coming back up. So we could see a little double top formation if it starts coming down off that 109 level. But if we break through, then I don't know, Spencer, I'll just throw something out there. 115, 120.
How many YOLOs can you do at one time?
Can I?
Yeah.
I can do quite
I guess
a few.
it depends on the PDT rule, don't it?
Yeah.
That would depend on that rule.
Right now, I let's see.
Wait, okay. Sanjeev asked about Snapchat. Sanjeev, I screwed that one up because I wanted to buy it and I got too cute with my order.
I mean, I think you still got. I mean, look at this chart, Spencer. This is a daily chart. Look, you still got it down here. It's not like
I don't remember if my order is good till canceled or not.
well, maybe that'd be something. Maybe that'd be something to check
I
out.
should probably check.
But I think as long as we see some strength down here, maybe 2 green candles in a row, then we can see Snapchat start trying to fill this gap, come back up to the $70 level. Currently at $53. It seems like it's going to be trading sideways for a minute, so I would wait on a snap swing play till you see some more strength coming up on the upside. We'd like to have that strength identified. We like to have the trend as your friend at the back. So let me know in the chat how y'all are playing Snapchat if you guys are looking at it.
Yeah, I've got my order at 52. So I like the chart, Sanjeev. I wanted to buy it and I didn't, but I wish I had. Anyway, okay. Yeah. I think what we'll do is we'll probably just keep the chart of the day counter thing going for just the rest of the show. If we get to 100 likes in the next hour and a half, we will do a guess that chart, another one. But if we don't, we won't. That's simple. We have 10 minutes to our first guest anyway, so. I'm liking the music, Rohan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What else? Christian asked about, or he didn't ask, he just mentioned PayPal. I haven't every day with PayPal. There were a few stocks that we get asked about all the time, right? We get asked about PayPal. I feel really bad. There's someone in pre-market prep that asks about PaySafe, PSFE, every single day. Can you pull up that chart?
PaySafe?
PSFE.
I got you.
Every single day they ask about the stock. And like, I don't know what to tell them. You know what I mean? I mean, that speaks for itself. Is that an all-time low? I don't know. Why am I so zoomed in, guys? What is going on here? What are you doing? Hi. What is going on? It's because it's Friday. We're just messing around. Oh, that's up there? All right. We need to utilize it over the overhead camera more. For next week, we're gonna have some more games. We're gonna be doing some shooty hoops. We're gonna be doing some dartboard throwing. It's gonna be a little more interactive of a show than we have been doing. And also, we're gonna get AB out of the office. We're gonna have him go outside and do some man on the street type stuff. Correct?
Yeah.
I'm saying it now. I'm saying, dude, why? I'm saying it now. We have a respected executive coming on the show in 10 minutes. I just want to remind everyone about that. But I'm saying it now so y'all can hold us accountable, okay? If we do not do a segment with Aaron Bree where he is live on this show from somewhere else that is not this desk, then you can yell at us. Exactly, Shelly. Exactly. Awkwardly harassing people of Detroit. Can we get Raz on? Oh, no. Sanjeev. It's going to be a hard no on Raz today. I don't want to get yelled at. Clinton, it's in 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Clinton Hoda. We'll have Tom Fennimore on the show. So, yeah, it's a bit of a off-script show today. Oh, well, them's the breaks. So we're going to have Tom Fennimore at 12:45. After Tom, we'll have Christian Fromhertz from Tribeca Trader Group at 1 o'clock. The guy is a professional trader. He's a beast, honestly. The guy is just a monster. He's really, really, really good at what he does. So we can rip through charts with Christian at 1. At 1:30, Shiba Inu Russ, a Shiba Inu millionaire. That'll be a nice way to wrap up this show, I think. We'll talk about what he's doing with that money.
Coca-Cola making new all-time highs.
What?
Let's check in on that. KO is the ticker.
Yeah. Can I tell you an embarrassing story? So my very first week at Benzinga. Oh, no, not Benzinga. My very first week as the producer of Pre-Market Prep. This is like my...
Wait, we got some fake news in the chat. I'm seeing the all-time high up here at... I don't even know.
Wait, I want to tell you a quick story. So my very first week producing Pre-Market Prep, I had been in Benzinga for like, I don't know, 2 months at that point. And I didn't know anything about anything. And yet they put me in charge of this show for some reason. And it was like my second or third day as a producer of Pre-Market Prep. And I saw that news on ticker COKE, Coke. Right? Do you know that one?
On what?
Do you know Coke? COKE?
Yeah, it's like the Coca-Cola whole. It's like the bottling.
It's the bottling company.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's a bottling company. And I thought that was Coke.
Oh, Coke is making new all-time highs. The bottling company.
COKE?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what someone in the chat was.
I thought COKE was Coca-Cola, the drink, but it's not. And it was very embarrassing. I said it on the show, and Joel and Dennis was like, no, different company.
This is kind of cool. I like whatever's going on.
Yeah, I'm feeling it too. So that was embarrassing. And then another time I confused GM and GE. That was also embarrassing.
Oh, that's actually a good segment idea. Sorry, go ahead. Where in the world is Raz? We just have Raz join from his cell phone.
Right now he's in Palm Springs. By the way, good movie. But
what?
Palm Springs.
Never seen. Oh, the Andy Samberg one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a bunch of those stories of my early days here, just like not knowing anything and confusing stocks. Gavin, you see, just to clarify, Gavin Hunter, was ticker COKE or ticker KO one of your first investments? Because it is confusing, isn't it? There's two companies. One of them is the ticker Coke, and that's not Coca-Cola. Makes no sense. I feel like we should also take submissions for Johnson & Johnson. If you didn't hear the news, they're splitting the company up into two.
Who else? There was another company outside of GE that was talking about splitting.
Yeah, I think Toshiba.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. Someone's asking about CCL. Let's see. I got the chart pulled up. Carnival. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air. I don't know what to think about. You know, last year around holiday times, we had a COVID spike from everyone gathering with family and moving indoors in the winter. I don't think we'll see as big of a spike this year, obviously, with more vaccines out. But if we do see any little uptick in COVID cases in certain states, and I think some of these cruise lines will get hit particularly. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the sideline right now in all these cruise trades. But interestingly, the cruise line stocks are some of the only stocks that have not made up their ground from where they were at pre-COVID. If you look at pre-COVID, Carnival was at about $43, excuse me, currently at 22. So you can definitely make the argument that there's still value there, that eventually the cruise lines will be back to normal, back to business as usual. But I just think
there's definitely a play here.
I think there are sexier investments out there to make right now.
Perhaps. Have you ever been on a Carnival cruise?
I've been on one cruise in my life, and it was an Alaskan one. We took off from Seattle.
Did you go with your grandparents?
Yeah. My grandma.
See how I knew that?
My grandma's 70th birthday, I believe.
It was
okay.
I've never been on a Carnival
Alaska
cruise.
was amazing. I mean, if anyone has the opportunity to go to Alaska and see some of the nature and everything that's up there, it's incredible. I strongly recommend it. But being on the cruise ship, it just I was like 12, so it was fun, like running around. You have the buffet. That was probably the best part, Spencer, was every meal was a buffet, just all you can eat.
Is Carnival Cruise Lines the Carnival of cruises? Like,
I don't know. I'm trying to remember what
Carnival is like the chaos shit.
Like what cruise line what cruise line we were on, because it wasn't like a Disney cruise or anything like that. It was just like maybe Norwegian.
Carnival's for like college people and like young families, right? I'm pretty sure.
I think it was a Royal Caribbean.
Oh, I've been on a few of those.
You've been on a few cruises?
Yeah.
What do you think about cruises?
Oh, I love cruises.
Really?
I've been weirdly enough wanting to go on a cruise.
Is it the buffet part that you like?
I mean, that's one thing that I like. I don't not like it, but it's not the only thing that I like. I like cruises. I've been lucky enough to go on 3. They've all been Royal Caribbean. I like them. I weirdly enough have had a hankering for one in the last 6 months, maybe because we were all cooped up for a year.
Wait, everyone's talking about self-driving. Master of Stonks. Are we the same person? He said he did an Alaskan cruise and he was 12 as well. So yeah, that's my one experience on a cruise. You know, being 12 years old, running around the boat. Well, one of the highlights was we snuck in, my cousin and I, we were about 12 years old, snuck into the, they had a comedian there doing entertainment, and it was supposed to be like 18 plus adult only. And it was very,
and you were like 12?
We were like 12, and it was like very vulgar, and we were just cracking up the whole time because all these jokes were like adult jokes, and we thought it was hilarious. And good time.
I actually almost died on the first cruise I ever went on. I was 15. And
you got into a fight with someone on the shuffleboard court?
No, close though. I have a pretty severe allergy to nuts, all kinds of nuts, right? Peanuts, walnuts, almonds, all of them. And I had a cookie. It's always a cookie. I had a cookie that was mislabeled at the buffet. Speaking of buffets,
yeah.
And I ended up spending an entire day of the cruise in the sick bay area. It was pretty, and we're like in the middle of like the ocean, right? It is in the middle of nowhere. And it was actually a pretty serious reaction. I spent the entire day in that infirmary area. And it was not good.
I'm sure they had to have an EpiPen somewhere on the
boat.
No,
I was getting pumped of like IVs and everything. But the silver lining of all that, the best part was I ended up like waking up the next day at like 4 or at 5 in the morning or something. And I got to watch the sunrise from the front of the ship in the Caribbean. And it was like one of the best things ever. But that was a pretty rough day for me.
So what about that? Everyone's talking about self-driving cars.
That's a good segue.
Yeah.
That's a great segue, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, maybe there's a self-driving cruise ship play out there.
No.
Well,
maybe here, we can ask our next guest, is Carnival, Royal Caribbean, are these cruise liners interested in LiDAR technology?
Does LiDAR technology work underwater?
I don't even know. We're about to find out. Let's get Tom Fennimore, the CFO of Luminar, on the show. Hello, Mr. Fennimore. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great, guys. I was listening into the last segment here. It almost makes me want to go book a cruise here. Can
you answer a question? Does LiDAR work underwater? Is that just sonar?
I'm gonna have to text our BD guys and just say, hey, what are we doing on the in the whole cruise sector? It seems to be a potential.
Any deals closed in that sector, you can send some commission our way.
Well, look, if you guys ever want to join the team here and lead the charge in that segment, I'm sure we can make it happen.
Awesome. So first off, Tom, congrats. Good quarter yesterday. I was watching your CEO on CNBC yesterday, and he made a comment, and I want Austin Russell, and I thought it was very interesting. He said at the start of the year, y'all outlined 5 key milestones for the business, right? That would grow the business. Can you explain a little bit maybe what those milestones were? He said you guys are crushing all of them.
Sure. And I'll walk you through the 5 milestones. And while we did this, because this is a little unique for a public company, we're not entering series production until the end of next year. And so while financial statements and quarterly financial results for a company are always very important, what we're focused on here at Luminar is more the medium and longer term shareholder value creation. As I always like to say, my largest shareholder owns 30% of the company, is 26 years old. And so, we're very long-term focused here. And so then if you're not kind of focused on your financial results, what is the scorecard that we should use to judge you by?
Yeah.
We have 5 milestones. 2 of them are related to industrialization or getting our products ready for series production and real revenue sales to our customers. 2 of them are related to getting the wins in place and growing, the revenue that we expect. Because in the automotive industry, it typically takes you some time to actually win a series production contract, and then after you win that, it typically takes 2 to 3 years to launch it. And so you have to win things today in order to start giving revenue in 23 and 24. And then the last one is making sure that we're doing this in a disciplined spend manner, in that we're not spending like drunken sailors and being very disciplined with our shareholders' cash. So the first milestone relates to getting our Iris actual Lidar sensor ready. And in the ultimate goal is to get to start of production for series production the end of next year. And in the auto industry, there's really 4 stages as you kind of get through the development. There's your A samples, B samples, C samples, and then you guessed it, the D samples. And we're now, we kind of started the year entering the B sample phase. We want to end the year entering the C sample phase, and we're now doing that. In order to get to the C samples, we have to have the tooling in place that is going to be actually producing these parts, which we have. We have to have our manufacturing design and our sensor design in place to do that, which we do. And, we need to have kind of our manufacturing partner selected, which is Celestica. And so we're now entering the C sample phase. We kind of said we want to get there by the end of the year. And that's a goal that I think we're imminently about to achieve, and pretty confident we'll be there by the end of the year. The second one is on our software side, and to have an alpha version of our Sentinel product suite ready to go. We've now developed alpha. We've been showing off some of that functionality at some of the shows we've been at recently, and then in CES in early January. Spoiler alert, there's going to be more to show there, and we're going to be showing even more functionality of Sentinel as well. The next 2 is winning the business, major commercial wins. And these are kind of like big major victories. We said initially back earlier this year, we'd get 3. Our last earnings calls, we doubled that to 6. And we just achieved our 5th and 6th ones, with those being Polestar and NVIDIA. So we kind of hit that increased goal. I don't think we're done winning yet for the year. We haven't told the BD team to go home and, take the rest of November, December off. Great commercial momentum on our side. And then how does that kind of all manifest itself in kind of what's revenue expect from those wins? And from our perspective, we kind of ended 2020 with a forward-looking order book. The expected revenue over the lifetime of the business, we won at 1.3 billion. At the beginning of the year, our goal was to grow that 40% this year. We then increased that to 60%. We'll do a final tally on December 31st with where we stand, but I'm pretty confident based upon the momentum we have so far that we're going to kind of exceed that target. And then the 5th one is to end the year with more cash than we began it. We ended with 545 million. We began the year with 486. Well on track for that. So the team's been doing an amazing job We're very proud of them. Look, maybe we need to set the targets a little bit higher next year, just given how well the team has executed. But very proud of the Luminar team here.
You mentioned the NVIDIA deal. Got to ask about that because that was the catalyst last week for you guys. You were selected for the NVIDIA Drive Hyperion autonomous vehicle reference platform. Explain a little bit more about that deal. What does it mean for Luminar?
Yep, and I will. And I know that there's been a lot of noise out there because there's been a few other companies that have put out press releases with NVIDIA and that how, their sensor or whatever is being incorporated in Drive. Here's why we're different. Here's why this is a big deal, which is we are now selected by NVIDIA as their reference platform for the Hyperion Drive system. And that's going to be ready to go in 2024 for production vehicles, according to NVIDIA. So when NVIDIA goes to an OEM and says, here's NVIDIA's Hyperion autonomous drive platform, here's the sensor configuration, here's the software that we built it upon. There's one LiDAR company that is on that. There's a few camera radars, others, but there's one LiDAR company, and that's us. And so they're going to OEMs with their autonomous platform and autonomous system, and our LiDAR's on it. And they're recommending that this is the sensor configuration, including us, that these OEMs should use if they want to use NVIDIA's autonomous Hyperion system.
So Tom, what are the challenges of being in charge of the financials of a company when so much revenue and stuff is expected down the line, but may not be there right now?
Yeah, and look, this is going back to what I said earlier about the automotive industry is we have these we have several of these contracts won now. Generally the SOPs are starting around the end of next year to call it the end of 2024. And so we need to put in place all this investment, the engineering, the R&D, building out the manufacturing system and capital equipment for that, building out the supply chains. We got to make all that investment years in advance of when you're expecting to get that revenue. And so, as the CFO, I have to balance making sure we're making those necessary investments so that we can execute flawlessly for our customers and get to where we want to get to, with making sure that we're not overspending, being very disciplined. And at the same time, we want to kind of maintain that entrepreneurial spirit of the tech startup that has kind of been at the legacy at Luminar. We don't want to build, a bureaucracy, a lot of fat into the system. And so we need to find that right balance. Sometimes I need to be the bad guy internally in terms of saying no to certain spending and everything. But look, we've made a lot of investment this year. You can kind of see the investments we made in our financials. We've brought on almost 300 people this year between full-time employees and consultants to help us grow. And so we just need to find that right balance that we have here.
All right. At Benzinga, we work for our viewers, and there's a question here in the chat that is a very loaded question. And I'm going to ask it NCal. NCal is asking about the comparison of the technology between Lidar and what Tesla is doing, right? So I'll just bring the question up on the screen here right now. How does Lidar compare with the cameras that Tesla uses in terms of cost, in terms of bulky Lidar on vehicles? Luminar concentrated on commercial use. Is Lidar capable of full self-drive? Like I said, big question, a lot there, a lot of back and forth, going back years with regards to this question. I'll just throw it to you, Tom.
Yeah, look, it's. I think the essence of this question is Tesla is trying to make full self-driving work with cameras only, and Elon has been very public saying, Lidar is a fool's errand or what have you. So a few replies to that. Number one is that's the only OEM that has made that public stance. Every other OEM is using Lidar to where they get to where they want to get to be. And when we're talking to these OEMs, a lot of them want to leapfrog Tesla from a technology perspective. They're finding challenging it to do from a pure EV perspective, but from an AV perspective, there's been a lot of challenges that Tesla has faced. The scrutiny from the industry and the regulators has increased. And so using Lidar and using our package is a way for them to leapfrog from their perspective. Number two is we believe that there are a lot of inherent limitations in camera, and you're ultimately not going to be able to get there. Camera is ultimately a 2D image technology. So if you see that car in my background there, you can't tell from the Zoom call how far it is away. You can take a bunch of pictures, do a lot of computational work and estimate it, but at the end of the day, it's just an estimate, and you're never going to have a ground truth understanding of how far all the objects in your field of view are away. Great thing about a laser, you can, if I had a laser pointer there, or I could use it and it'd tell me precisely how far away that car is. That is what LiDAR enables. It gives you a real 3D ground truth understanding of the environment in front of you. And ultimately, you're going to need that data in order to get to the significant improvements relative to a human driver that are necessary in order to enable safe autonomy. In terms of we kind of see all these ugly LiDARs. I've heard things from the spinning KFC buckets to Lego cars. I don't have any pictures here in front of me. I encourage you to go to our website. You can kind of see some of the sleek designs that Volvo and some of our other car makers have done to kind of put it into the roof. Ultimately, we want to make that look, which we think looks sleek, in my opinion, kind of cool, kind of like a badge of honor in a visual display that this car is safe.
And I just pulled the long-term on the screen. I think it's not controversial to say, Tom, that investors got way too excited too quickly, early on. But that being said, if you look at the far right hand, you can see that spike from last week. It's not as if enthusiasm has gone away, because the stock is liable to do wild things on an NVIDIA headline, for example.
Yeah.
Right. So but is that your take as well? Is like, it's still early days and everyone needs to kind of slow their roll?
Yeah, look, we're focused here, as I mentioned earlier, on the long-term value creation. It's kind of human nature to look at the short-term fluctuations in your stock prices here. We have a bright future here at Luminar. Executing successfully on our plan is going to drive significant shareholder value creation, whether you bought this stock at 10 when we did our IPO, whether you bought it at, $19-20, wherever it is today, whether you bought it at, $40 and change, which is our 52-week high. Executing on what we have in front of us is going to create a lot of long-term shareholder value here. That's what we're focused on. We have the money plus a cushion to do that. We have the team and the level of talent we've been attracting to do that as well. And so, you try to ignore the short-term volatility, focus on the long-term opportunities. I'm very confident in that.
A couple good ones here from the chat. We'll get to quickly. Tony Jordan's asking a good one. If you're in the NVIDIA suite that is being sold to OEMs, and you are also selling to OEMs, aren't you competing against yourself?
We kind of, it's a good question. We're working with NVIDIA. They're designing us in there. We've announced a deal previously with Mobileye, who's incorporating our LiDAR into that. We've announced deals in the past with Volvo and Zenseact that are incorporating our LiDAR into it. And so we want to maximize the systems that we're on, because that's going to maximize the chances of us winning the business, so that it becomes a heads we win, tails we win type of scenario. And so we want to align ourselves with the industry leader. That's just going to maximize not only the chances of our LiDAR being on the vehicle and hopefully our software too, but also that's just going to give us the significant competitive advantage, not only from the revenue we collect and the economies of scale we get, but also getting access to all that data and real-time experience to allow us to continually evolve our products.
All right, now the questions are coming in. We don't have that much time though. Dave Fry's asking a good one as to why yesterday when asked, you guys excluded Japan and Korea as your area of focus, that you're focusing on China, Europe, and North America specifically.
I should have said Asia instead of China, because look, it's China is the biggest market over there. But we also see ample opportunities in Korea and Japan. We actually have a couple of people we hired to go Lidar Japan effort. And as soon as the COVID laws allow them to go there in the country, they'll be there. And, we see some opportunities in Korea as well.
Okay. All right. We've been on the line with Tom Fennimore. He's the CFO of Luminar Technologies, ticker LAZR. Got a bunch of good questions from the chat. Tom, thanks so much for joining us today on Benzinga Live. And again, good quarter, and congrats on that. And we'll be in touch and following the company going forward. Have a good one.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good weekend.
All right.
You
too.
do the same.
Okay. Shelly, props to Shelly for reminding me that I did say that Luke Jacoby would be on the show today.
He kind of made an appearance.
Yeah, sort of. It was on the calendar. It was on the calendar. Shelly, Luke is here, but he is on the phone right now. He's always on the phone. That's his problem. He's literally on the phone all day. So I don't know if we'll be able to get Luke Jacoby on the show. If I can, I can. I would do my best. I can see him. I literally see him across the office. He's on the phone right now. So I'm working on it, Shelly. I'm working on it. But that doesn't mean we don't have other guests, because we got 2 more guests joining that are actually here and, being respectful of their commitments, unlike Luke. Christian Fromhertz is the CEO of the Tribeca Trade Group. And like I said, the guy is a pro's pro when it comes to trading, when it comes to charts. Let's get at C Fromhertz on the show right now. Christian, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Spencer? How you doing?
Doing fantastic. How has your week been from a P&L standpoint?
Not bad. I mean, I think definitely took a step back, the other day and cut some trades, but the market has been, just has been great over the last few weeks. That to think that we're not going to get some type of a pullback, or it's just going to go up, straight in line. And one of the words that I've been using a lot is just being realistic about this market. So took a little bit of to answer your question, took a little bit of a step back this week on Wednesday, but this has been a great trading day so far. And, I'm having I had a great October and I'm having a great November so far. So knock on wood, there's just been a lot of trading opportunities. We've seen nice breadth expansion, so more areas of the market are participating, particularly what we saw with small caps, for the last couple of weeks. And so it's been a nice market to be involved in. What do you think?
Do you typically, like this time of year, as we head into Thanksgiving week, which is a very slow week, and then December, obviously, with some exceptions, is typically a slower month of the year. Do you typically take a step back this time of year, or do you get more active?
I just basically follow the price action and what it's telling me. And if I'm seeing more signals, I continue to kind of, go through my process and look at, go through my homework after hours and go through scanning and so forth. And if I see more opportunities, then I'm in the market. Now, if I go through, regardless of what time of year it is, and I'm not seeing that many opportunities within sectors and just, relative strength, and if some areas look exhausted, then I may back off a little bit. But it's business as normal. And sometimes these weeks of Thanksgiving with the low volume can actually be quite fun. I know some people, for example, like the day after Thanksgiving, it's
like the slowest day of the year.
yeah, but there could be some really whippy moves that happen.
Yeah.
And, if you're a retail trader, you don't need, huge volume for liquidity purposes, as long as you've got things moving. So what's nice about that day after Thanksgiving is if anybody has a trade to do, or if there's some type of news that happens over Thanksgiving, you could really find some good trading opportunities. So it can be, and I say can be, it's potentially, because you just don't know every year, but it can be, and it's potentially, it could be a really fun trading day if you kind of come in the right way and, are just kind of following whatever's moving on the tape. Because the other thing is too, sometimes that low liquidity can just mean that like 1 or 2 players out there are just pushing a particular stock or pushing a particular group, and you can really make some nice money off of just day trading for the day.
While we're on the topic, full disclosure, 2 weeks from today, I'm taking the day off. So,
There you go.
It's Black Friday. I like to go to the mall and hang out with all the yes, I do. I'm not going to buy anything, but I'd like to hang out with all the crazies for sure. It's like
and you got to give a supply chain, update in terms of
channel checks. That's actually what I'm doing is channel checks. Yes.
Oh, see, there you go. That's what you're doing.
Yeah,
you're not shopping. You're
that's
doing.
actually what I'm doing. Yep,
you're doing homework
checks.
for the show.
For
Okay,
sure,
good.
for sure.
Good recovery. Good recovery.
For sure. Okay. If you want, Christian, you can share your screen with us, and we can rip through some charts here. If you have any questions in the chat, drop them in there, and we can take a look and see what Christian thinks about them. But in the meantime, you can just tell us what's on your radar here.
Yeah, absolutely. And and a bunch of things. What was kind of interesting yesterday after we saw some profit taking and some a little bit of volatility on Wednesday was just, even though the S&P wasn't doing much, we started to see some areas of the market really participate. And, I obviously will pay attention to both, right? I'll look to see what the important levels are in the S&P because I do want an overall, healthy looking index charts and so forth, and just as backup to make sure that the trend is acting the right way. But of course, if we're starting to see some things really act well, and I thought yesterday there wasn't a lot of volume yesterday, and there wasn't a lot of momentum in the second half of the day. But I'm like, hey, we're seeing some groups like the clean energy group, there is the metal space that was absolutely on fire yesterday. The agriculture space was acting well. So as long as if it's one of those days where it's really choppy, like it was yesterday, and there's nothing acting well, then it's like, maybe we need a little bit more time for, the healing of the price action. But I was like, wow, things look pretty good in terms of momentum. Now, not everything was participating yesterday, but it was nice to see like 3 or 4 other areas of the market. The Chinese internets were acting very well yesterday too. So kind of goes in line with what I'm watching for today. And there was a specific level, and this is just a 1-hour S&P chart. Just a quick explanation of my charts. I look at volume at price quite a bit. I have on my screen what's called the market webs, which look at volume and price and put together significant resistance and support levels. So I get excited when we get over resistance. So we managed to do that for this week, kind of back to where we started a little bit in this range. And and then we kind of just turn to sectors and what's acting well. So we build off of that. So yeah, I'm seeing some good opportunities, in a couple different, high momentum areas of the market. The other thing that's been pretty consistent is I do pay attention a little bit to option activity. And they were really going after some names that had good earnings and, spent a little bit of time just consolidating. In this TTD, it was a real nice trade today. Roadblocks, which I got into yesterday, isn't it funny that these charts look almost exactly the same? And I think the last time that I was on here, I think we were like right in the beginning of earnings season, somewhere around there.
Yeah, we're sort of right in the heart of earnings season.
Okay, yeah,
a few weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, and one of the things that I said is that you're going to find what's exciting about earnings season is not so much like, putting money on trades and speculating like which name is going to go up or down, but finding new opportunities that come out that have really good earnings and really good price action. And I think just as an example, these two names, Roadblocks, which is up 9%, that wasn't really a name that I was like, hey, this is going to be the name going forward, but it just happened to kind of fall into the theme of the metaverse. And it had better than expected monthly active users. And this thing kind of sat back. It really was tricky 2 days ago because there was a ton of call volume the day after earnings. And the next day, it just fell flat on its face, but it didn't give up the trend. And yesterday, I started a position. I added to it in the middle of the day, and I actually took off part of the position. And then I'm being rewarded today by keeping a partial position on today. But, that's what's kind of fun about this. And same thing with TTD, which, really has been a name that kind of got forgotten. It was for a little while. If you look at some of the tech of like last year, that was hot. And, Shopify, the Trade Desk were a couple names, but the Trade Desk really went cold for a while. So there's nothing wrong with the name, after going sideways for a while, now catching momentum and breaking out. So I'm excited to see these types of opportunities.
All right, a few tickers in the chat I want to get to.
Yeah, let's go. You want to,
Okay.
and I could go through a couple other names because I like when it's more than, a few different names participating, but another name that kind of caught my attention, and this is how I use option activity personally, is that, it could be an idea for me, right? It could be, hey, if I'm looking to day trade a little bit and the market momentum is pretty good, then I'll use the option activity for a little bit of momentum, like we did in Trade Desk this morning, and then something like this where I'm like, this is interesting. Somebody's buying a little bit of calls in Masco, and I looked at this chart and I said, well, hey, this is a pretty nice little move. This is another one that gapped up on earnings, right? Settled in a little bit. And, again, you have to be a little bit patient with these things. But, now we see the calls, which is, to me, just a little bit of verification that an institution is perhaps interested in the name. And then we can kind of go from there. But that's particularly interesting is not so much the option flow into earnings, but the option flow after a name has reported. And because institutions are going to, get involved in some names. There's no doubt about it, right? And names that they haven't been positioned in. I mean, Roadblocks is, you could see the volume difference in this name. So, what we want to see is after a name reports is to see those institutions that may have been a little bit under positioned in a name now have to get involved in the name. And then we can kind of ride the coattails of that.
So, sorry, half to them. This is RBLX. I'll put the tickers up on the screen here going forward. Let's do a couple of tickers from the chat. I asked for them. Jigglypuff Doc wants to know about PayPal. Every day we get asked, is today the bottom? Is today the bottom?
Well,
is today the bottom?
Well, here's the thing,
Christian,
right?
Is today the bottom?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody wants to know that, and everybody's wanted to know that now for like the last couple of weeks. So I'll give you my 2 cents about PayPal. So number one, like when we started to hear about this, story about the interest with Pinterest, right? The volume kind of gave some clues that the institutions were selling this thing, right? So it doesn't matter, like if you think it's a good buy.
Wait. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Well, we'll look at the difference in the volume. Like this is not retail. This big volume is not retail, right? And that's
why not? Why not?
Well, depends. I guess.
In all seriousness, I mean, you had a big news event, a rumored takeover of a huge social media company, right? I mean, that's a big news event. It was talked about all day on places like Benzinga and CNBC and Bloomberg, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, I don't know. Why not? Why not?
Well, I think that, listening to your show, I think I heard recently that. And if it wasn't your show, I apologize. But I think retail flow used to be about like 10% of the average market or 15%. And I think that's jumped up about like 10%, right? So it's bigger than it used to be.
Yeah.
However, institutions are still about somewhere around 75% of the overall volume, right? And they are sitting too with, I mean, that institutions were holding PayPal. I mean, that was a core holding, I think, of a lot of of a lot of funds, a lot of institutions. So to me, seeing this after the pin, and I think a lot of people, including myself, were like, hey, are they, this deal doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I think as institutions, got their arms around it, they were like, I don't particularly understand this. And even if they're not going to do it, just the fact that they were going after a company like this, rather than maybe investing in their own company and finding some type of new, development there, and
maybe that exposes like a flawed thought process, right?
I think so. And again, sometimes we could reason all we want, but I think just looking at the price action and looking at the volume just told me enough just to not wait until this thing stops to stop seeing the distribution that it's been seeing. So going back to the question of where you're at now, where we're at now. So the weekly chart, I got a level for you. And that's 210.26, Right now, do I think that the bottom is in and that we're going to move up from here? Well, I don't make those types of predictions, right? I find a level that I think is significant, which I think the 210 level is, and I think that you're going to want to see the price action to get above 210. And what this is, by the way, it's volume at price, right, from all of last year. So this block here that you have is a value area, and that's based on all that price and time as well as volume from 2020. So it becomes significant, right? Because of that volume and price action. So 210 is a definite level I will be watching. But I would say if anybody at this point is looking to take a shot at PayPal, just make sure you have a stop, right? And even if you don't want to wait for 210 confirmation, right, you could basically see, and this red line on my chart is also is a significant volume at price level, but there's another one below it at 191. So I can't tell you if the bottom is in, but if you're looking to take a shot, I would use the low of this week and say, hey, let me see if I can get a broader bounce in here. But if it takes out the low from this week, I would abandon. I would run for the hills.
Hobbitellum asked what time frame you used on your chart. Sorry if I butchered your name.
No, so this
I'll tell him.
So this value area for the whole year is off of the weekly chart. Okay. So the whole year it's been trading above value. So you really don't want to see this thing start to move down here, because then I think you got even a bigger correction going on. But yeah, it's been a tough name. I have no position in it. I'm waiting. I would rather, and again, I understand everybody has a different time frame. So you may think, for the long term that this might be a good spot. There's nothing wrong with that, but I would still have a stop in place, and kind of go from there. Is it due for, maybe a bigger bounce? Probably. But I just think I think that this is not only PayPal. I think this whole payment space there's something different that's happened this year. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it's a firm that's eating everybody's lunch. But if you look at the whole space, right, this is called relative weakness. Right now, I like to play things that are above the 200-day moving average, above the 50-day moving average, and really. So I can't figure out exactly what's going on here and why the group is so weak. But I think there's just plenty of other areas in the market to allocate your money to, even though you may think, oh, it's down, it's a buying opportunity. I don't like relative weakness. I like relative strength.
Fair enough. So here's one that we also got asked about in the chat that has relative strength. Airbnb, full disclosure, am long.
Yeah, I screwed this one up, Spencer, this week.
Oh yeah, great. Tell us about it. You learn more from your mistakes than you do from your wins. So tell us about it.
Yeah, I didn't have enough patience this week. When the volatility hit on Wednesday, there was a comment actually that I made in the room. I took off some positions on Wednesday, and some positions, even the good positions, got a little bit sacrificed. And this was tricky, because it's been, kind of coming into support. So now I'm on the 1 hour time frame. So this value area is for the week. So I really look for support. I say this all the time, like in my trading room and in my end of day videos. I always have ideas, but I will let the price action tell me whether I'm right or wrong in my ideas, because I could be wrong a lot. But this one, it kind of gave a little bit of a couple false breaks into value. And then today it's acting like a champ. And I do like this for the long term. But I'm not in it right now, and I'm kind of a little bit upset that I missed it and I took it off earlier in the week. I just think this area too that I'm circling on the left side of the chart, I'm worried that it's going to be a little bit choppy in here. But hey, it's got some momentum today, and the more that it can continue to kind of make progress here, I think the better. And as long as at this point, I would ratchet up a stop to maybe around like 200, 198. But I like the idea of it. I use it, and I've been a fan of Airbnb.
That, what though, like as someone who owns a stock, we say you think maybe it could be choppy up, in the 210 area. I like that personally, because we're all different. We all have different psychologies here, but like it freaks me out when I'm in a stock that just rips higher. Like on the Airbnb weekly, it is just
Right.
ripping higher with just straight up, literally no resistance, right? Just straight up. And like that kind of thing freaks me. I
Which
hate
stock
that.
did you say?
Airbnb, this is Airbnb. Like,
Oh, okay.
like,
Well, yeah,
yeah.
but there's definitely, it's got to get through this 204 to 207.
Right, sure. I like chop. I like consolidation. When things go rocket ship mode, it freaks me out because I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like I don't.
Trailing
like, I would.
stop. Trailing stop.
I know, but then sometimes you can get shaken out of these things, and it's like, God
Yeah.
damn it! Like, you know what I mean?
It's really tough. The way that I wish I could tell you that like a DOCN, right, which has been just acting like a champ. So here's an example of a high flyer. What I've learned over time is, because this thing has just been, has gone up from last year. It was a $40 stock. It's at 120. I mean, and that's the case with a lot of some of these names. Asan is one that I'm watching today, by the way.
Oh, Sana and Monday. Oh my gosh, are they ever going to go down?
So by the way, so here's a good level to watch for the end of today and maybe for next week. But 139. Look at the nice. So you kind of got to get your mind. You can't look back here. You could basically just kind of look forward and know that this name has been showing relative. Speaking of relative strength, this is one of them. And it has been consolidating for almost a month, right? So it's been very strong, but take a look. It's been kind of just doing its thing and consolidating. And I think this is a great time to kind of get back involved in it. And, if you want a little bit more of leeway, use the 20-period moving average. But the answer to your question is how I kind of stay in some of these high flyers is it's just all about position size. You got to put something on that you're comfortable. Right? If you put too large of a position on, you're going to a lot of times shake yourself out of a high flyer, especially a name that's more volatile and has a larger average true range than the normal stock. So really, like almost putting a position size on that you almost forget about a little bit in terms of the size, because if this thing, and you kind of just look at the lines on the chart, and this thing could be at 150, no problem, the way that this thing moves. So you got to be in something that you're comfortable within. But this has just been one of my favorite stocks over the last couple months. Anything that has momentum like this, that is acting different than the rest, to me is fun to be in.
Can you correct me if I'm wrong here?
Yeah.
There's a question from Christian Gallagher in our chat. He says, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're short a stock and they pay a dividend, don't you owe the broker the dividend? That's what I thought. If you're short and they pay a dividend, you pay your broker.
I believe that's how it works. I mean, I don't do a ton of. If I'm doing shorting, I'm usually doing it with options. So
okay.
But yeah, I believe that they are entitled to, whoever's long is entitled to the dividend. So
right,
yes,
exactly.
That's a nice one-off question, but we'll take it.
Yeah, nice random question. Yeah,
you got any more charts, or you want me to continue with some names?
We got a couple more. I don't know. Square. Do we want to look? We already looked at PayPal. Do we want to look at Square? I don't know. I full disclosure, I don't know what the chart of Square looks like.
It's tough to me. It's at a place where it could bounce. But again, the thing about how I trade and how I've learned to trade over the last few years, it's kind of like like Dennis in the morning, right, on your pre-market show.
Yeah,
he's a very disciplined trader. I trade different. Like I have a completely different style than Dennis. I'm more of a swing trader. That's my bread and butter. I do some day trading as well, like with TTD today. But where there's opportunities. But I'm a swing trader. But I just stay out of stocks that are telling me something bad. So if you cover up the symbol here in Square, and because I know a lot of people have attachment to stocks, I do too. But this thing is below the 200-day moving average. That's as simple as it gets. You don't even have to look at my value areas, right? My indicator. If it's below the 200-day moving average, I know that this has been said by a number of people, so I apologize for not giving credit. But below the 200-day moving average, there's not a lot of fun things that happen, right? I think we're starting to see that with some names. that have been under the way under the 200-day moving average that are now rallying from them, and they're now above their 50-day moving average. But specifically, when a name has been above and has been a really strong name, there's something that's not right here, right? That a name is sinking this much. And institutions, it's kind of like what we were talking about with PayPal. You could see all these red bars. What is this telling you? It's telling you that somebody's getting out of it. So if you don't want to say institutions, Spencer, that's fine. You could say
no,
retail.
I'm not. I'm not morally against it. I was just questioning the hypothesis, questioning the idea.
Yeah, but this volume is telling you, right, that there are somebody is getting out of this name. And again, Square and PayPal have been, I think, a bit overcrowded on the long side. So, we've got some institutions getting, sorry to say institutions, but I think somebody's been getting out of these names.
Fine. It's fine. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it's the people over it. I don't know. Okay.
I don't know.
We got a couple more minutes here with Christian Fromhertz. By the way, he's at C Fromhertz on Twitter. I'll put it up on the screen. His Twitter handle.
And you could also put the Twitter up there, and I do free, obviously I run a trading room, right? We've got a community of traders, but I put out free end of day videos where I literally go through, if you go through yesterday's video, I talked about a lot of setups, not to give the old pat on the back, but I talked about a lot of setups that I thought were really constructive yesterday. So I give that out free. It usually goes out around sometime around like 5 o'clock, and I'll go through the indices first, and I'll go through single stock setups, and I do that every day. It's a public video. So let's go through some more charts.
Yeah. By the way, I'm definitely going to quote you on the not a lot of good things happen below the 200-day moving average line. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Not a lot of fun things happen.
Someone's going to go after me because I didn't.
Okay. All right. Devon Energy, please.
Sure. This was such a strong stock. I'll tell you, I got shaken out a couple of these energy plays recently. So it's consolidating here. I think if you're in a stock position, I think a stock position is better here personally, because it kind of is not showing momentum right now, but it's not breaking down either. So I would, pay attention to maybe the 41 level, right? And also that's the 20-day moving average, because it's been above the 20-day moving average now since September, right? And it's acted so well. So I don't know, if this is just kind of taken its time here, and or if something different. But again, going back to what I said earlier, it's all about, the price action will tell me if I'm right or wrong. I would stay long versus that 20-day moving average, right? Keep it simple. The one thing that's kind of concerning to me, and again, there's no breakdown here, but oil has not been able to get above the 84 level. So it's digesting, and what's funny again is, like with trading, the price action is always right. Right. We hear all this stuff about gas prices going up, and, potentially that they're going to have to release more reserves and that kind of thing. But what's the price of nat gas telling you? Do you think that's true right now, that nat gas is stalled out basically back in October? You can see I've got a downtrend line in here. So the price to me in both oil to some extent, but definitely in nat gas is not, agreeing with what the news is telling you. So again, always rely on the price action, because right now I do not see nat gas, moving hard to the upside. In fact, it kind of looks like it's weak and breaking down a little bit, right? Talk about the 50-day moving average. It's also below value for the month. So I got rid of some. I tried actually in the beginning. I mentioned I sold some positions a couple of days ago, but one of them was I tried a position in Oxy. And Oxy could not break out. Another name that I tried too was Venom, which it doesn't look bad, but again, it stalled out here, and I think there's just better opportunities. So what else?
Right,
let's go through some more.
All right, let's just do one more quick. We'll do one more quick. Rex has a couple going here. Can you look at Rivian? Do you look at IPOs a day or two after their IPO, or not?
It's really tough. I don't trade a lot of these because I just don't have the technicals to do it. I like to see a little bit. Yeah, so it's always like if I'm going to take a position in this stuff, it's going to be really small because I just think it's too unpredictable. And I mentioned before that my indicators and the price action will tell me if I'm right or wrong. I just don't have a lot, so I can have an idea, but I don't have any edge in Rivian. Right? I like to have edge in trading, and I got no edge. So
fair. Okay, and then here's one I looked at. Up FinTech TIGR. I looked at that one for a minute.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a tough one.
Yeah.
So again, another one in a downtrend. I'm an uptrend guy. So you do have a level to trade against, right? There's always even if I don't like the chart, right? Or if because I am a trend trader, so that's why I stick to trends. But there's always a level that you could trade against if you want to really take a shot at something. But you have to remember that if it doesn't work, to take the position off, and that's $7. But this is not something I would mess with personally. Could it bounce, up to $9? Oh, definitely. It could do that. But is that what you're looking for in this trade? And that's an important thing too. Is every time you pull the trigger or click the mouse, you have to think about, okay, where do you think this stock is going to? So yes, I think it could bounce, maybe up to the 50-day moving average, but that's such a tough trade. It really is.
I hear you. I'm sorry to whoever asked about that. Christian Fromhertz is the founder of the Tribeca Trade Group. His Twitter handle was up on the screen before, at C Fromhertz, and he joins us every other Friday. I don't know about 2 Fridays from now. We'll talk about that, Christian, because I won't be here. But maybe we'll do so. Maybe we won't. I don't even know at this point.
Can't we catch you from the where you're going to be in the mall or something? We could do.
Well, I'll be in Jersey. I'll be at like a mall in Jersey. We can maybe try to do AB. Can we do a stream? Can you? Where are you going to be?
Yeah, and I'm from Jersey too, so that'll be great.
Where in Jersey are you from?
So I grew up in Central Jersey. I'm in New York City now.
Whereabouts?
A very small town called North Plainfield, and my folks.
Yeah, man, I'm from East Brunswick.
See, nice.
Yeah,
Rutgers.
See?
Let's go Rutgers.
Yeah, that's right. I knew you went to Rutgers. That's right. Small world. All right, Christian, have a good one. We'll talk to you again soon. Good luck.
Thanks, Spencer. Have a great day.
All right, AB.
What is up, my man?
Why is AB not on screen, guys? There he is. By the way, I want to remind everyone, we did say if we got 100 likes, we would do another chat. Name that chart. We're almost there. But that being said, AB, we have one last guest today.
Yeah, we've got Russ Davis, who is an early investor in Shiba Inu.
Oh my God, this guy has more money than I'll ever make right now.
I know, it's incredible.
It's ridiculous.
So, Russ knows, I guess, more about Shiba and cryptocurrencies in general, kind of an altcoin aficionado. So with the recent run in Shiba, figured no better person to bring on than Russ. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Russ up. Russ, man, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So, well, first of all, where in the world are you joining us from? I know you travel a lot.
I'm in LA right now. Houston last week, Tampa next week, maybe San Fran in between. I mean, I don't even have a home base right now.
You're homeless? Is that what you just said?
Might as well be. I don't know why I'm paying a mortgage in Connecticut.
Yeah, I don't know either.
You've got some cool friends down in Tampa too. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I got Antonio Brown into crypto. You've probably seen him on a lot of commercials. He's signing all these crazy deals now, and hopefully I'll be able to talk with Brady about that. I'm going to be doing some training with them after their Monday Night Football game in Tampa next week with a couple of the other players. I'm not going to name names yet because I didn't really get their permission. But, yeah, it's exciting. And I'm meeting with some other coins down in Tampa as well. Anywhere I go, people will, find time and meet up with you now. It's overwhelming, but I love it. It doesn't feel like a job, so it's cool.
So how did you initially get connected to Antonio Brown, a different AB? And what was your, I guess, like pitch to him, you've got a lot of money, you should invest in Shiba Inu?
We connected back when he was on the Steelers, really just through social media, and became friends, started just hanging out. Anytime he was in the area or I was in the area, we would hang out. And then when I started talking about crypto, he was very interested. He's a very quick learner with all that stuff. And so he's like, what can I do? So we set up some accounts for him, made him a decent amount of money. Some of his, his entourage, like his agent and all those guys got into Shiba months and months ago. So they're pretty happy right now. And, this industry is all word of mouth. Like you can't fake, real profits. So when you show somebody your portfolio and what you started with, that speaks volumes. And then you get referrals and then it's just nonstop. It goes viral.
Yeah. So Russ, the first time we had you on the show, I believe, was back in April or May, kind of when Shiba was making its initial run, and so much has changed in the crypto world since then, and especially with Shiba Inu. So can you just give us a rundown of like where you see we're at right now? Where do you think we're going? Was this last run all the way up to, let's see, 0.0008? Was that the final run, or do we have it?
No, I mean, I'm getting the same questions that I got back when I was on the show the last time, and people were like, is it done? Absolutely not. Unfortunately, a month in crypto is like 10 years in real life. People freak out if, it goes up 800% and then down 10%. They're like, is it over? Is it done? Of course not. If you look at the real tokenomics on it, they haven't even done anything to become deflationary yet. They're about to start burning coins. I think they're doing a billion coin burn very soon. Then they're going to do transactional burns on every transaction, buy or sell. That's going to be massive for it. And then just the whole vision itself is still just getting started. I mean, we haven't even gotten on Robinhood yet, Kraken. These take time, that's why you never set a date and say, we're going to be, on Robinhood at this date. They're not going to say that because it takes time. They're going to get the bugs out. And, we're still not on some of these major exchanges. It's just gaining momentum. It might be down on a day, but the trend is still going to go up. I mean, anybody who's used to stock lines, I don't like to correlate stocks and crypto all that much, but you look at these, it's all trending upwards. I would say 14-month target, it hits a penny.
I want to ask a question, Russ. I'm just wondering, like, aside from the connections and the relationships, how has your life changed in the last 6 months?
It's been a whirlwind. I mean, almost anywhere I go, in like my surrounding towns, like once a week, somebody's taking pictures with me, and it's funny. My friends all laugh at it, but I get it. I've been there where I'm like, whoa, this guy is making a lot of money. Like, how do I speak to him? So I understand, and I want to teach everyone. So, if anybody who I don't know approaches me, I'm always down to talk about crypto and give my 2 cents and, just give some free information. That's what crypto is all about, is just sharing. If you've got a hot tip, you should share. You should want to get everything out there. And my life has just been like crazy, just being pulled every direction in the last 6 months. Like, I can't even explain how much it's changed.
Yes. So Russ, outside of Shiba, is there any projects, any coins that are particularly interesting to you right now? Or is it just kind of like the...
Yep. Yeah. We actually, the first coin I ever got involved in actually on like the dev team is Peeps. The peoplescoin.money is the website for that. It's very simple to buy. And that's going to revolutionize charitable giving. So with Peeps coin, you can donate to a charity that might, let's say this charity has $100,000 in their bank for charitable giving. It's sitting there making less than 1% interest per year, which is just not even keeping up with inflation itself. If you receive a donation by credit card, you're paying a 4% fee. So you're already, down money. With Peeps, you can donate it immediately. They receive it for free. There's no credit card transaction fees. There's no processing fees, and you get reflections. So every day that you have, let's say 1,000 Peeps, every transaction is going to give a 2% reflection, which is a reward to people that hold that coin. So you're going to wake up the next day and actually have 1,005 Peeps. You're going to have more and more, accumulating more. So innately the value is going to be higher. And then when the price goes up, that's going to make it higher. The more charities we get involved that are going to turn their $100,000, like Red Cross, millions of dollars sitting there gaining virtually nothing. If we could transform that into cryptocurrency, it'll change the world, just like Shiba did when they donated to India. $5 billion now would have been worth $30 billion if they had actually held and listened to the actual Shiba community. But you see like what we can do when we actually hold these coins and reap the rewards that crypto is, benefiting anybody and everybody 100-fold over what we can do by putting our money in banks and letting it sit there doing nothing.
Yeah,
then,
I'm sure that's a big ask
especially
for some, places like you mentioned, Red Cross and stuff might be a little archaic in their financial tendencies.
Yeah. It's all about education. We just
isn't that what it hinges on? Isn't that doesn't all this hinge on like eventual adoption? Who's to say that's going to come?
Adoption is getting out of control as it is. Ask somebody 10 years ago what Bitcoin was, 5 years ago. Now it's almost a household name. You don't have to even own crypto to know about what Bitcoin, like the name. And now it's educating people. What is Bitcoin? What is cryptocurrency? I get those questions all the time and I'm happy to answer them. It's like, is Bitcoin crypto? Is crypto a coin? Is crypto Bitcoin? And all this stuff. But that's why we just need to educate people on everything. And, the learning curve is getting faster and faster. 2 years ago, 1% of people in the world had crypto, and now it's up to like 13%.
Wow.
And it's just, you can see the charts on Ethereum and Bitcoin and all the major players that dictate the market. They don't lie. It's just getting bigger and bigger. And this is our generation's internet, or last generation's Facebook. It's cryptocurrency. It's here to stay. So
Christian Gallagher is asking a good question in the chat. He's asking, do you think there are too many coins out there? Because I see so many projects that claim to be, the future of finance, etc. Every coin, it seems like, can't have really its own, practical use case. So, how do you see that? Do you think there are some coins popping up that really have no business trading?
It's 100%. It's a necessary evil right now to gain hype on cryptocurrency, but the scams, 99%, I'm probably underestimating that, of all coins coming out are scams right now. That's something that, my group, the In Russ We Trust group on Facebook, prides ourselves in, is finding all those diamonds in the rough that are not scams. And our analytical team is comprised of some of the smartest people in the world. And, it's not impossible to trick us, but you gotta, if you're that smart to be able to trick us into believing that your coin is legit, then you should just have an honest project.
Wait. So how do you know? How do you know? I'm genuinely, I don't. I'd love to know.
We have people from all over the world, some of who just do not know each other. So it's not like we're, just going through the motions with everybody in our own little chat room. And, running these analytics are different than what other people look at. We look at different things, not just, everyone wants to talk about market cap. I hate market cap. I think it's a complete, BS thing to look at. That's for stocks, not for crypto. Looking at, who the holders are, who the development team is. If they are not going to dox themselves, like basically give their real information, we're not going to work with you. We want people that are honest, transparent. And those are some of the main things, because if you can get past that, people have accountability. If you have accountability, then we look at your project. And if the project has a use case, then, we're going to look into it. But a lot of these BS coins just don't. And people are just like, oh, I'm going to throw $100 in this. It's going to be the next Shiba. Why? You have no reason to say that. So, you got to listen to honest groups. Our group is probably the most honest, transparent, helping group in the world for crypto. Everything else is a dumpster fire. It's just like The Purge Part 5 again. They just don't want to help you. They want to pitch their own coin, no use case, pump and dump. That's what gives a bad name to it. But the more regulated crypto gets, the safer it'll get, and it'll come.
Ooh, interesting. I don't know if everyone agrees with you about that one, Russ.
Yeah, I know.
But I do for the record. But I don't know how many other people agree with you about that.
That word goes a long way. It's ambiguous, but there's certain regulations. I think that if you're going to file a coin, you should have to file under your real name.
I like that.
That would be good. We should get some of that.
Russ, there are a lot of quote unquote crypto influencers out there that stick, 100% anonymous. So even the fact that you're able to come on screen, come on camera with your real name, I think adds some credibility. Yeah, kudos to you, Russ. Because
that's why it makes me laugh when people say that I'm scamming people. I'm like, why? Like, if it would be so easy to go under a fake name and do something,
That's true. That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Like,
why would he be on here with his real name and face if that is the real face?
So Russ, I gotta ask, because everyone in the chat is wondering right now, what actually, what amount of money did you make off Shiba, and are you, how much of it have you sold? Give us the lowdown on that. Like, what's your portfolio look like?
Millions, quite a few.
Wait, okay. Can I ask you a question that isn't as invasive? What percent of your portfolio is Shiba?
Probably 50 or 60%. Yeah, I mean, I still have quite a few billion coins. I had plenty. I had a lot more, but when I owed people money, I would pay them in Shiba and tell them to hold it. I would tell them, this is going to be worth a lot more in a year. So if they did, then I gave away, I don't know, probably $20 million in the last few months. But
oh my gosh. Okay, and what percent of your portfolio is crypto at large?
Oh, 100%. I'm so out of stocks right now.
Okay.
If you're talking about just stocks and crypto, it's 100% crypto. But real estate and cryptocurrency are really just having the best gains right now, and I think in the near future as well.
100% to crypto, 50% of that to Sheeb, approximately, give or take. All right, I applaud the honesty.
Russ, didn't you used to work for Vivint or Sunrun?
Yeah, for like about 6 months. Yeah.
What do you? So you're a solar expert too. What do you think about the solar space?
That's so funny. The solar space is good. It's not going anywhere with the with all the incentives that the government's giving. I was doing solar because my credit card processing company runs itself, and it gave me time to focus on crypto because it's very flexible. And unfortunately for Vivint, I gave a couple of my Shiba and crypto tips away to a few people, and now they retired. So they're kind of losing some employees because of me. My bad.
So you're responsible for that stat that came out that 4% of people have quit their jobs because they've made so much money off crypto.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't have an exact number, but I mean, I know that I've had probably 40 or more people tell me that they have retired or are millionaires because of my picks. And that really is, I mean, it means the world to me to hear, some of these life-changing stories. So, it's fantastic.
All right. What about this? I got an idea. So you have some, green cryptos out there between Solana, Cardano, etc. What about we make a crypto that can only be mined using solar power? So they've got specific miners that have to be hooked up to a solar panel.
Someone's thought of that by now, surely,
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Can someone do some research on there? If it's not out there, then Russ and Benzinga will team up and make it.
If you have solar power and you're near like a river or water source, you can really just make crypto for free without electricity, without impacting the environment and everything. So if you really take the time, you have the money and the due diligence to do it. I know people that do it. But
all right, so Thoughty by nature is asking a question in the chat. What are better crypto brokers and hot wallet versus cold wallet? So as someone like yourself that holds so many crypto, you got to have good confidence, good conviction in whatever wallet you're using. So what are your thoughts on that?
There's obvious just security benefits to having a cold wallet, but some of the coins that you might be putting on a cold storage are not going to get the rewards, those reflections, those staking rewards. And like for Shiba, I'm staking all of my Shiba on Shiba Swap and making a 6-figure income just on letting that sit, which I can't get by putting that in cold storage. So that's a benefit that would positive to not cold storage. But then if you're not going to get reflections, then if you're not going to sell it, then get it off the internet, put it on a cold storage drive. Never get a cold storage like a USB, any of those little things from any website that's not, like ledger.com. Like get them from the actual site, because those things can be hacked and be reprogrammed to go into somebody else's wallet. Never buy like a second market.
That's a great tip. That is an amazing tip right there. And I like your point.
So
about,
if you have it in a hot wallet, is that essentially like staking your crypto?
No, staking your crypto is like putting your money at a bank, putting it in a CD, where some you can't touch for like 6 months. A lot of the newer staking rewards for some of these coins say you can stake it for a day and remove it tomorrow if you want to, but you're getting rewards for holding, and that's what you should be doing anyways. If you believe in your coin, then you should be holding the coin, and if you're going to hold the coin, why not get rewarded for it? So a lot of the big ones, I mean, you can stake your Ethereum for 5% right now on Coinbase. I have most of my Ethereum there. Some I need just to do some day trades, whatnot. But my Shiba is all staked. Hex all staked. Some of these new coins that are coming out are just giving amazing staking reflection rewards.
And that's a great tip you just gave. If you don't intend to sell, take it offline. What even is the point?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. When I have that conversation with people, I don't get it. So yeah.
Right. That's a really good point. A few people asked what the name of Russ's group is. It's on the screen there, and Russ We Trust. Google that or Bing it. I don't know.
We're on Facebook.
That's the thing.
Ask Jeeves and you'll find it on there.
Bug, I think you threw out a penny price target earlier for Shiba, but Buglock asked if you see Shiba go into a penny. What do you think the catalysts are for that? I mean, we mentioned Robinhood, we mentioned Kraken, but what are some other catalysts that can help propel Shiba Inu toward that penny price target?
The deflationary model that they're going to move towards, more people staking, more awareness, with still, like I said, like 13% of people even owning crypto. What happens when we tap into the other 87%? And then they're getting into Shiba, and you can still get millions of Shiba for a couple dollars. That's what's trending. People want that out of what is considered a meme coin, and something that now is bringing all sorts of functionality to the world for less than a penny. It's going to get to a penny. We're doing exactly what Doge did, but we did it 6 years faster. And so once it hits a penny, it's going to go from 1 to 10 overnight. I would say within weeks, it'll go from a penny to 10. And when people ask me if it goes to a penny, yes or no, of course it is. It will. This rocket ship is not done. If it was done, I wouldn't have millions of dollars still in Shiba. I would have taken it out by now. It's still there. I'm not touching it.
Rex is asking a great question. It's a very broad question. Take it any way you will, but he's asking, where can you learn this stuff?
In Russ We Trust on Facebook.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not even joking. Like, our site, you can actually ask questions like that, and we're going to give you answers, and you're not going to get bullied for it. We have, 16,000 members on that. You can go to the Shiba page that I started, which has 70,000 members. And for the most part, you're not going to get sarcastic answers. People want to help you because they know that it helps them. And you can't really trust a lot of these other pages. I've seen some real, manipulating stuff going on in some of these pages. Unfortunately, it's just the truth. I have to say that. But you have to do some research and maybe ask some of your friends, what are some trustworthy sites? I'm sure we're not the only one, but I know we are. And you just don't want to get on a site where you're kind of that lamb in the lion's den and you just don't know it. I've seen people give out their, like send ETH to people for a test and this kind of stuff. I'm just like, you see some stuff and it's unfortunate.
What about the famous Twitter where people would go in Elon Musk's replies and say, send whatever Bitcoin to this address. So a couple things in the chat.
Did that work?
Oh yeah, for a lot of people.
Yeah,
and I think actually it says a lot about the fact that they were targeting Elon Musk's followers on Twitter to do this, and it worked.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know. Anyway, a couple things in the chat. So Christian Gallagher is saying he thinks crypto is going to go up through the holidays. Everyone's going to be talking about it at Gathering. So back in 2017, the first big run up in Bitcoin took place, around Thanksgiving through the holiday time. That's probably a big part of it. I don't know if it's one of those causation does not equal or correlation does not equal causations, but definitely I like that idea as a thesis that people will be talking about crypto over the holidays with their families, some more interest. Like you said, it's all word of mouth. More people will buy it. Maybe that 13% of people who hold crypto goes up. And I don't know about you, but Spencer, Russ, but I have like my uncle who's like mid-50s and stuff texting me about Bitcoin and Ethereum all the time.
I don't, thank goodness. I couldn't handle it.
I think like that. I don't know. He might be a little too young to be a boomer. Maybe not. I don't know. Either way, 55-year-old. I feel like that's like prime. Everyone, they just have nothing to do besides text and
Actually, tell your uncle to stop texting me. It's annoying.
Texting you.
Yeah, he's asking me about like which altcoin, and I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what.
He's like, what's the next Shiba?
I don't know.
Tom's asking, how can I buy Shiba in New York? They don't allow it. Tom, you didn't hear this from me, but you should go out there and Google a VPN.
Exactly.
Again, you didn't hear it from me.
Yep.
All right. Oh man. Russ
Do you say
Davis.
what's the next Shiba? Is that a question?
Oh yeah, my uncle wants to know.
It's always a question.
I've got a few actually that are besides Peeps, you've got some really good coins out there. CoinMerge is amazing. They are kind of like they're trying to be like a Facebook.
Hey, look at that. CoinMerge is in the chat.
What, you got CoinMerge in the chat?
Yeah,
you're in the chat. That
wow.
can't be a coincidence. That can't be a coincidence. That can't be a coincidence. I'm calling BS on this.
That is actually, I don't even see the chat. So yeah, they actually they're really that's a solid project because they're trying to integrate, what you have to go right now to like 6 different pages to look at a coin and do it on one. So you can have, your chat boards here. You've got your charts. You've got your NFT marketplace. You can see other coins. You can do everything all on one page. I haven't even talked about that on my page. I just like the coin. And then you've got some of the new swaps coming out with lower fees because that's the new thing with these gas fees so high. You've got Minty Swap, which I've talked about on my page. Nucleus, very good coin. Under producing just because of some inner struggles within the company that are now resolved. Those are some coins that you can still get.
Minty one?
Minty Swap.
Minty Swap. All right, I'm just posting them in the chat. We got Nucleus, CoinMerge, Minty Swap. I've got our email up on the screen. Shows at benzinga.com. CoinMerge. Send us an email. I'm sure we'd love to have you on for an interview to talk more about the project.
Yeah.
So
or on our next show, for example, our crypto show, Moon or Bust.
Yeah.
Either or. But yeah. Anyway. This has been fantastic. This has been enlightening stuff.
Yeah, so last question, Russ. Jason is asking, how'd you come up with the name "In Russ We Trust"? Is that a nod to Russell Westbrook?
No. My friends Tommy and my friends Pippi started shouting that in our chats and everything, and I was like, stop. Like I hated it at first, but then other people started using it and it just kind of started trending throughout the Shiba community. So I just had to finally say, okay, it is catchy and it's just an easy way to remember.
All right, wait, last question. I know I said that was the last question, but I got one more. So Shiba Inu, all right, just quick history lesson for anyone out there that may not be familiar. So Dogecoin starts, right? The dog that is in the Dogecoin coin is a Shiba Inu. So they create Shiba Inu. Now there's Floki Inu, and Floki is, of course, who else? Elon Musk's dog, which is a Shiba Inu. What's your take on Floki? Is it just like a copycat of Shiba? Does it have some utility?
It is, but it's both. Anything with the Inu is going to be trying to copy Shiba. Inu in Japanese means dog. That's where that comes from. So that's the whole trend on the Inu thing. But Floki actually is very successful. I don't see it stopping. It's got a nice cult following pretty quick. It's got massive gains. A lot of the dips get eaten up pretty quick as well. I don't know if it's the next Shiba. I don't know if anything will ever be the next Shiba, but hey, I mean, I wouldn't say no to it. I don't personally own any, but I know a lot of people that have made a ton of money on it, and they're holding pretty strong. It's a nice community.
There you go. All right.
This was amazing. Thank you so much, Russ, for coming. I learned.
Thanks for having me.
My mind is someone said the Spencer has FOMO. I got FOMO. What do you think? This has been amazing. I learned a lot.
Russ, we'll have to have you on again soon for any developments in your crypto portfolio. If you find a new project or you're working on a new project, we'll have to come get you on again to talk about it with our audience. So thank you for taking your time out of your Friday to join us, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
Awesome. Same. Thanks, guys. Have a great one. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, real fast. We got to end the show because we got Moon or Bust, and I have a call right now. But we got 200 likes, so we're gonna do another Name That chart. This is a 3-year chart. I'm gonna give you one hint and one hint only.
Can I guess?
It is a technology company. That's my only hint.
This has got to be one of the only tech companies that has not made up its pre-COVID
Drop your
levels.
guess in the chat. The winner will get some free swag. Swag. AB does not know. Clearly.
It's
no price access. Price access
it's
is
a technology stock that has not gotten back up to its pre-COVID levels. It looks like I would say Boeing, but it's not Boeing.
Price access is for noobs. Christian Gallagher. It's not a bad guess actually. It's not Intel, but it's not a bad guess. Yeah, I can only be like one of a dozen, right? All these guesses aren't bad. No, it's not Microsoft. Oh, we do have a winner.
Shelly.
We do have a winner. How do you know that?
I don't know. I'm smart. I just figured Shelly was right because she's so smart.
And that's exactly it. International Business Machines.
Shelly, how'd you know that?
Shelly's smart. Good job, Shelly.
Or is she watching us somewhere?
I don't know. Maybe. All right, Shelly, email us, shows@benzinga.com. I have to hop. I have a phone call that I'm late for. AB, can you wrap the show up, please?
Yeah. What say you, Spencer, to these people in the chat that are mad at you about
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. That's all I can say.
All right, y'all. It was a great week this week, Friday. Hope everyone has a great weekend. We will be back on Monday. Email us at shows@benzinga.com. Questions, comments, and concerns, even if it's just to say, hey, Spencer, we don't like your decision making, but hey, otherwise, have a great weekend, everyone. Peace and love from Zinger Nation. We will see y'all on Monday.